come along. Hi, Alex.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, a few more people are trickling in now. So let's, should we start, or do you think we should leave it a bit longer, Namrata and Alex?
I think we should start
We've
just
got
to
half
leave.
an hour, haven't we? Yeah.
It's not loads of time. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are from the Learning, Teaching and Assessment Network, and we'll introduce ourselves in a minute. And we've got some slides to share with you. And then, particularly because we're a smallish group, we can share together some reflections on the network, how you'd like to see it working, and if you have any ideas for events or activities we could get involved in. So I've got a couple of slides that I'm going to share with you. All right, so yes, we are the Learning, Teaching and Assessment Network, one of a number of SRHE networks that allow people to join and meet and hear about research relevant to their interest area. Namrata, did you want to share some of the history of the network?
Yeah. So we sort of we launched in 2019 and was sort of slightly late for learning, teaching and assessment, and to have a network to facilitate that conversation. But here we are. We had our first event in October 2019, where we looked at students and their involvement in learning, teaching and assessment. Now, since in these 3 years, or rather 4 years, we've sort of focused on different areas of learning, teaching, assessment, feedback, and a wide range of other pedagogical issues. So we've looked at some current trends, debates which are happening in research around learning, teaching, and assessment. We've looked at some new methodological approaches, theoretical perspectives, and we've sort of used our network as an avenue to scale up practitioner research. So broadly, we are interested in everything to do with learning, teaching, assessment, student partnership in curriculum design, influence of technology, more recently AI, leadership in learning and teaching, student transitions, their support, and ways of evaluating classroom practice. And this is just a list of some of the areas that we are covering or are looking to cover. And we want to carry on this conversation around learning, teaching, and assessment. And that's really the focus of this network.
Thank you, Namrata. So I think, yes, so our aim as a network is to, as Namrata said, sort of discuss, share and highlight current issues, trends and debates in research around this broad theme of learning, teaching and assessment. And Namrata mentioned some of the sub-themes and things that we're interested in. So that normally happens through the following things. So we host some SRHE events. We'll put up in a couple of slides the ones that are coming up. So there's normally 2 that are online, so they can be accessed by anybody anywhere. And then there's normally one that's in person in the SRHE office in London. And that's normally the pattern throughout the year. We also support the stream of the conference that you're at today, and we'll be supporting that throughout the in-person event. And I suppose the broad notion is to foster and create that community of international researchers interested in these topics. And I think that's especially the case with learning and teaching, because they're often networks within institutions, and it's sometimes super helpful to kind of compare practice, discuss practice, evaluate practice at that much bigger level. So here we're the conveners. I'm Emily. I work at the University of Sussex. I'm an academic, and I also lead our PG Cert in higher education. So I'm interested in supporting teaching and learning from the perspective of supporting my course participants, who are also my colleagues. Alex, did you want to introduce yourself next?
Thanks, Emily. Hi, everyone. My name's Alex Owen. I'm the Dean of Learning Enhancement based at Ulster University. I work with 4 centres across the university. One, the Centre for Curriculum Enhancement and Approval, one for the Centre of Quality Enhancement, one, the Centre for Digital Learning Enhancement, and then the Centre for Professional Practice Enhancement as well. And the 4 centres work really closely together in terms of that whole learning enhancement piece across the university. It's lovely to be with you today.
Thank you, Alex. And then Namrata, I've just realised there's a typo now in your name.
So I'm a professor of education at Liverpool Hope University. I'm interested in everything to do with learning and teaching, both in my practice and my research. My professional role within education in my university is to oversee the learning experience of postgraduate students within the School of Education. Aside from that, I'm also sort of involved in the professional recognition through application route of the advanced HE. My research sort of spans around learning and teaching identity, academic practice, academic identity, particularly doctoral students, early career teachers, learning and teaching leaders, international academics, and more recently I'm working around learning and teaching leadership during educational crisis. So that's me.
Thank you. So these are the events that we've got coming up that we can share with you. Have I got the dates wrong now? Because I know I need to change the slide, but if I have, I'll sort that all out in a minute. All of these events and the details will shortly be available once they're finalised on the SRHE website. We had a fantastic event on leadership and learning and teaching, which drew on the publication that Namrata and colleagues were involved in, and was a really great panel event with multiple speakers. We've got a session in February. Alex, did you want to talk about that, because you're leading on that?
I have, and I think I've got a slide after this one, Emily, to prompt me, but just to say it's in February.
Oh yeah, oh sorry, should we do that? Let's do that.
Okay, brilliant, fab. Okay, so that's in February 2024. So after the Christmas break, it'll be at 9:30 to 12:30 in the morning, because we've got colleagues joining us from Australia, so it'll be late at night for them. We've got some really exciting colleagues joining us in terms of coming to speak, who are really trying to explore this whole area of artificial intelligence and the impact that that's having on our learning, teaching and assessment processes. Our first keynote is Professor Margaret Bierman from Deakin University. and she'll be speaking around inviting students to learn in an AI-mediated world. And then we've also got Joshua Thorpe from the University of Stirling as well coming to speak to us, and his keynote's titled Through the AI Looking Glass, a Humane Approach. So hopefully 2 slightly different perspectives there in terms of the research that they're undertaking at the moment around AI and the impact that that's having on the learning and teaching experience. And then after that, we've got a panel conversation where our colleagues from a number of different universities are going to just give us a 10-minute provocation in terms of the kind of AI that they're kind of grappling with at the moment in terms of their learning, teaching and assessment processes. So that's very much coming from their experience. A lot of these colleagues as well are doing research in this area as well. And looking at the practices that they're undertaking. So we've got Sam Saunders coming from the University of Liverpool, and his provocations around generative AI at the university where he's working, with a focus on that AI literacy. We've got some colleagues coming from Ulster University, Andy Jaffrey and Nick Bartholomew. These guys are very much involved in the kind of quality enhancement piece around AI. So they've got a provocation titled Beyond the Look What I Can Do, Is It Remotely Possible to Currently Implement a Sustainable, Ethical and Inclusive Institutional-Wide AI Tool to Support Learning, Teaching and Assessments? That's a project that they're very much leading on at the moment. We've got Dr. James Bartlett from University of Glasgow, and he will be speaking just for 10 minutes on preparing students to critically use AI tools. And he's doing some research around this at the moment. And then we've got Professor Jan Slapter from the University of Sydney, who's written quite a lot around the work that, and researched quite a lot around the work that he's been doing to do with teaching doubt with ChatGPT in veterinary degrees. Good is bad and bad is good. So they'll be speaking for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be having a panel discussion. There are colleagues across the panel who are very pro-AI and some colleagues who are quite anti-AI, and then colleagues who are meeting in the middle. But all of this will be undertaken to try and explore this kind of artificial intelligence and the impact that it's having on learning, teaching, assessment, whilst at the same time unpacking the research that they're undertaking on this important topic. I think that's everything for now, Emily.
Thank you. It looks like a fantastic event, and as being online, we really hope people can join us, time zone permitting, from wherever. And then the final event, it will be in July actually, 2024, and it'll be on academic freedom, looking at the tensions that raises, but also the particular possibilities it might raise, specifically in the higher education classroom space. So looking at pedagogy specifically, we've got 3 confirmed speakers already, and we're just finalising the programme. So what will happen is you'll find the booking link, and to find out more if you're involved in SRHE already and you get sort of their regular emails, there'll be information on how to book, or of course you can kind of look and follow the network web pages, which we can post shortly, but we hope you'll be able to join us for some of them. So these are events, if you like, that me, Namrata and Alex they were topics that we were interested in leading events on, if you like. But what we want to encourage is that within this wider network that we are part of, are there others, people that have kind of ideas in terms of to share. So that's what we'll probably open up to now, to think about, what it is you're working on, and if there's anything you'd like from our network. And I think that we hope it will be a place for people to connect, working on shared issues. So in a moment, I'm going to copy this thing in the link to a Padlet into the chat, so you can post your perspectives here. But we're a relatively small group, so if people just want to unmute and start talking, that's absolutely fine too. So I'm going to stop sharing the slide so I can post the link.
Hiya. I'm new to SRHE, so apologies.
Oh, welcome.
But I was a teacher, and pre-pandemic, just focused on my research. So I've sort of missed a big chunk of quite important changes in teaching in HE. But prior to stopping teaching in HE, I did, student engagement. I always felt was like a really big issue that was getting worse, both in terms of attendance and in terms of enabling dialogue. meaningful dialogue within any teaching activities. So I'm quite keen to sort of be involved in something where we look at student engagement and how to maximise that really, and look at different ways of tapping into students' motivation or their interests in order to get the best out of that opportunity to have a dialogue with them. If that's the sort of thing that
it does, yeah, that sounds really fascinating, thank you. And I think many of us that are teaching or supporting other academics will notice that things feel different, and this obviously is in a UK context that I'm working in. Is that where you are as well, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, post-pandemic engagement does feel differently. It fit in terms of not just who's coming in, but how people behave when they're there. But that at the moment, I think we don't know a lot about it. So that's something I think we could reflect more on as a network. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hello, can I say something? I can't
Yes,
find
please.
my hand to put up.
Don't worry,
It's
it's fine.
disappeared. I've got a real hand. My name's Katie Polito and I work at Imperial College, and I'm new to this network group as well. So it's really nice to be here. So I'm the programme director for our Masters in University Learning and Teaching, and all our students, we have about 132 of them. They're all members of staff who teach across the college. So we're STEM focused. We have Faculty of Natural Sciences, we have engineering, big engineering department with 10 engineering disciplines, medicine, big faculty of medicine, and a business school. And I was really interested to hear, I've forgotten her name already. The lady who just spoke before, Charlie, which she was called, wasn't she?
Charlie, yeah.
Charlie. Comments and what you said, Emily, about kind of engagement and maybe even behaviours in the classroom. So my research at the moment is looking at students' emotions in learning, from the sort of the enjoyment and the motivation they get from participating, but kind of conversely, the anxiety they feel the need to get things right, to not look like they're making mistakes in front of other people, even though they're in some classes they're reassured that this is part of learning. But I'm also kind of looking at the parallel emotional experiences, the parallel emotional experiences of teaching staff, and actually how they feel about the changing relationship with knowledge. You know, the very fast pace at which technical knowledge is changing. I think the connection with AI as well, you know, none of us can really keep up with that in terms of our disciplinary knowledge, but also the way that we design assessments. We're all learning continually, and so there's this parallel experience of teaching staff and the emotions that they experience. So I'm looking at the connections between the two. So yeah, those are some of the things that we're looking at Imperial, and that I think kind of link with what the network's interested in. So look forward to talking about these things.
Thank you, Kate. Are you presenting at the conference?
Yes, I'm not.
Put your time in case then people can go to it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm not presenting on that, but I'll have a link that I can post to that. But a colleague, Jess Butler, she's presenting on the experiences of, we're calling them teaching responsible staff. So at Imperial, as with some others at universities, I think there's this distinction perhaps between those who are very research active and those who are very teaching active, and possibly a disparity in prestige for those two groups, a disparity in status. So that's what we're talking about. But I will put in a link, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, fascinating. Thank you. Sarah, did you unmute yourself? Hello.
Hi. Similar situation, new to the network and new to SRHE. So it's been really enjoyable this morning listening to all the presentations, and new, I think, back into HE after teaching in secondary education for many years, so back to sort of social science research now. And one of the things in the last couple of years that we've been looking at within our team is it sort of stems from that belonging in higher education, but also interested in sort of like the peer learning communities and learning spaces. And again, I think this is on the back of, you know, teaching through the pandemic online, and then seeing some of that pedagogy translated now back into sort of a live space, and see how students are responding to that, and trying to bring in some of that technology into a classroom setting. So sort of we're been quite interested in looking at that, and that co-constructivism really between, you know, staff and student partnership work to develop those sort of learning spaces. So and I guess that ties in with the engagement, doesn't it, that Charlie said originally. So that's just something that I'm currently interested in, so just thought I'd share that as well. But the AI stuff sounds great as well. Something that is a stone in all our shoes, I think, isn't it, at the moment? How best to use it. I think it's exciting, but also a little bit of a worry. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Although I was facilitating a thesis writing bootcamp this weekend, and all the students use it all for everything. Like, I'm just run this paragraph through. Does it sound all right? I mean,
yeah, I think it's a really good thing.
It's so useful. Like, people are using all, like, you know, I think it's fascinating. So, and as Alex said, there's a real range of perspectives on the debate, which I think will be so helpful. Thank you. Namrata's got their hand up.
So we've Sarah, we ran a session around belonging, and our previous network convener Karen has written a lot about belonging and transitions in higher education. So she had sort of organized that event. We also have a learning landscapes series that is being convened by Sam Elkington and Jill Illingworth, which SRHE is running separately as a special series, and they've just got an acceptance for higher education research development journal, a special issue that they'll be editing, and they'll be sending out call for articles around that. If that's an area you're working in, you might want to watch out for that call as well.
I will do. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's great. Thank you.
Emily, we've got something on the Padlet. I've got it on my screen. Do you want me to share it for us to read through? Yeah. Okay, I'm disabled on screen sharing, Emily. You might have to do that. Okay. So we've got some valuable suggestions there, Emily. Would you? Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, something on student engage, how people engage with assessment feedback. I think that's really, I suppose they relate, don't they?
Yeah. And we have somebody called as Melanie Pope, who's from University of Derby, who's setting up a network. And she's just put a message. So she's in the process of setting up a network for people who use coaching approaches or practices in higher education, either with students in LTA and tutorials, or with staff. And she's asked if anybody's interested to get in touch with her. And she's left her email address there. So just to draw attention of colleagues who are in the network here even today and who might be interested in that.
It's really helpful. I know definitely one of my colleagues that will be, so I'll put them in touch. Thank you. And we'll also share that we're going to run this event again, if you like, with people at the in-person conference, and do the same thing with the same Padlet link. So hopefully then together you'll see kind of what other people in the network are doing also. And obviously then Melanie, other people there will be able to see it later and hopefully get involved. That sounds great. Someone else say something? Oh no, just a thumbs up from Melanie.
Okay. Probably it might be useful, Emily, to just share our email addresses, just in case if
I'll do that.
Yeah. So if people would like to, yeah.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
I'm just putting mine there.
Oh yeah, well done.
Yeah. And if people would like, if there are any other thoughts, comments, anything that people would like us to host, if you're doing some work or would like to recommend an area that you'd like us to consider as the focus of our network event, we'll be happy to do that. Emily is obviously in the face-to-face conference as well, and would be running a similar network event from Wednesday to Friday. Emily, I don't know what time you're running this event, and you could catch up with Emily in person.
To have to look at my calendar, that I'm take it each day as it comes. But yes, I think it's on, when is it? Well, it won't matter to people here because they probably won't go to it twice, but it's on the Thursday of the conference. But also, yes, hopefully if there's any you here that will also be at the in-person conference, then I'll be there and you're welcome to come, and I'd love to meet you in person. And also, yes, if people want to share sessions that they're doing that might relate in the conference, that might relate to other things that other people could go to, then please do that. And I'm going to try where possible to go to quite a lot of their learning, teaching, assessment stream of papers anyway.
So just the person, was it Sarah? You know, the landscapes of learning. Sam and Judd are also running a presentation in the conference, which is on the 7th of December at 3 p.m. in case you wanted to catch up with them about the special issue and their work in person.
And I put the link to their stuff in the chat as well.
Thanks. Unfortunately, that was by the time I'd got round to it, it was sold out, so I wasn't able to attend, but I'll certainly be looking out for it next time. I can't do the in person this year, unfortunately. I've
been to some of their online events and they've just been, yeah, just absolutely stunning. Got so many like reading ideas and thoughts, and you know, it's been really good and really rich. So do follow along. I'm sure they'll do other ones.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, it's really great to meet you all, and so you know us. And so I suppose look out for the events that are coming up, come along and feel part of this network. If there's things, as we've said, that you'd like to talk more, share, as Namrata said, please do get in touch with us. You have our emails. And if you want us to sort of share things with people or whatever it might be, then do just get in touch with us and we can talk about it. But I think, yes, there's some really interesting themes around student engagement that are arising, either with feedback, with learning, with participation, with different forms of participation like peer learning. And so that's a kind of a great nugget of an idea for us to take forward. So thank you so much. All right, well, we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. We'll stay on for a couple of more minutes if people want to talk more, but otherwise, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
And you.